Dreadnoughtus recalcitrans is the newest official creature to join the ARK Survival Ascended creature roster. With its immense size, powerful roar, and venomous spit, it is set to upset the power balance on Extinction. But is this behemoth inspired by reality, or is it a work of fiction? Let's find out. In 2005, the American paleontologist Kenneth Lacavara discovered some enormous bones in the Cerro Fortaleza Formation in Santa Cruz Province, Patagonia, Argentina. The bones were so large and the location so remote that it took 4 summers to fully excavate the remains. They had to enlist mules, ropes, and many team members to haul the field-jacketed bones to a location where they could finally be loaded onto a truck. In 2009, the fossils were transported by ocean freighter to Philadelphia, where their preparation for study could finally get underway. The fossil comprised of a partial skeleton, which had been somewhat preserved in its original layout. The initial research also included scanning the bones with a 3D laser scanner, creating high-fidelity 3D images of the fossils. This meant that the heavy fossils could be studied in a way that ensured their preservation and enabled enhanced virtual and long-distance collaboration. The remains were more than sufficient to allow the team to identify it as a new genus and species of sauropod. It was given the name Dreadnoughtus scrani. Dreadnought comes from the Old English meaning fearing nothing, and the genus name alludes to the creature's gigantic body size. It is also a reference to 2 Argentine dreadnought ships that served during the first half of the 20th century. The species name, scrani, was given in recognition to Adam Scran for his financial support of the project. The in-game version retains the Dreadnoughtus genus name, but its species name is a new one, recalcitrant, which means something along the lines of having an obstinately uncooperative attitude towards authority or discipline, which is pretty fitting considering its beef with the Titans. In 2015, following the completion of the research, the holotype Dreadnoughtus specimen was returned to Argentina and installed at its new home in the Museo Padre Molina. The Dreadnoughtus was a species of titanosaurian sauropod dinosaur that is known from 2 partial skeletons. These specimens were discovered in late Cretaceous rocks of the Cerro Fortaleza Formation, and the fossils are approximately 76 to 70 million years old. It was a truly enormous creature, and the remains are so well preserved that it has been possible to study the shoulder and hip girdles. Even fine features such as the locations of muscle attachments are frequently clearly visible. The approximate size of Dreadnoughtus is 26 meters or 85 feet long, and they were around 6 meters or 20 feet tall at the shoulder, which is about 2 stories tall. They had unusually long necks for their body size, making up almost half of the animal's length at around 12.2 meters or 40 feet long. Their estimated mass is 48 to 49 tons, although other estimates calculate that it could have weighed as much as 60 tons, which is more than a Boeing 737 aircraft. It's worth noting that these estimates come from the type species, which has been identified as an immature creature, so it is possible that these dinosaurs grew to an even larger size. Like the Brachiosaurus, the front legs were longer than the hind legs, meaning that their body had more of an inclined posture. It would have been broad-shouldered and broad-chested in appearance. Paleontologist Kenneth Lacavara has suggested that their walking gait was likely similar to that of an imperial walker. They are placed within the Titanosauria family, which means our newest in-game giant is related to the Titanosaur. As a sauropod, it can also count the Bronto, Diplo, Brachio, Sidarosaurus, and the Diamantinosaurus as distant relatives, all of which we can see in Game 2. Although the skulls have not survived, the 2 specimens provide enough bones to recreate about 70% of the whole skeleton. And this is exciting because it's enough to allow further research into things such as bone strength and how a creature this huge breathed and maintained blood pressure. It can also help with calculating how much food it would have needed to eat. Like other sauropods, Dreadnoughtus would have been a herbivore, and it must have been consuming an immense amount of foliage to sustain itself. It's very unlikely that the real-life version spat poison, but its enormous size and its dismissive nature towards smaller threats in the game version seem to be a fitting tribute to the real giant that roamed the earth. The Cerro Fortaleza Formation in Argentina is a sandstone formation deposited in a fluvial environment. What remains indicates an environment of sands, mudbanks, and coastal plains. The climate at the time was characterized by being relatively warm, with rainfall and marked seasonality, and it's here that you would have found Dreadnoughtus when it was living. Preserved leaf impressions and fossilized wood indicates that there was a diverse range of conifer and cycad tree species present. The distinct growth rings preserved in the fossilized wood provide the evidence of seasonal growth and distinct seasons in the area. These trees would have provided sustenance for Dreadnoughtus, and it is during this foraging that their enormously long necks become a huge advantage. It enabled them to reach a large variety of food sources without having to move its body too much, and that meant that it was able to eat a vast amount without burning too many calories. The dinosaur inhabitants of the Cerro Fortaleza Formation are poorly known, and only a few dinosaurs have been named and described. Fossilized teeth and osteoderms that have been discovered show that ankylosaurs, hadrosaurs, abelisaurs, a smaller species of titanosaur, and crocodiliiforms were living alongside Dreadnoughtus. With so few specimens of Dreadnoughtus having been discovered, it's not possible to know how long these gigantic sauropods walked the Earth. But if they existed until the end of the Cretaceous period, then they would likely have witnessed the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. About 3/4 of the plant and animal species on Earth were wiped out at this time, and it is thought that it was caused by a massive asteroid 10 to 15 kilometers or 6 to 9 miles wide hitting the Earth. The Chicxulub crater in the Gulf of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula has been identified as the likely impact site. This impact devastated the global environment, producing long-lasting effects on the climate, leading to a lingering impact winter that halted photosynthesis in plants and plankton and rapidly acidified the oceans. The Dreadnoughtus that has arrived with the revamped Extinction map and ARK Survival Ascended is a true behemoth, and the dossier makes a wonderful reference to the dinosaur being discovered while Helena was still alive on Earth. We'll have to wait and see what the true impact of this dinosaur is, but I have a feeling that it's going to be massive. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, as it really helps encourage YouTube to show my videos to others. Let me know in the comments what creatures you'd like me to do videos for in the new year. And if you're new here, welcome. I make videos about the real life inspiration behind the creatures of the ARK. But for now, I will see you in Extinction. Take care.